Hello everyone, George DeSantis here with the Look at the Market for the week ending May 26th, 2017. Since this is the Memorial Day weekend that we celebrate here in the United States, it's fitting that we stop, we pause for a moment and think of all of those who either sacrificed their lives or were severely injured and maimed in the wars that they fought in defending this country and protecting us from all of those evil ones who would do us harm. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the disclaimer here. Trading and investing has large potential rewards and large potential risks. This video presentation is designed for educational purposes only and is not a solicitation or advice to buy or sell any securities or other tradable instruments. So you must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the markets. Consult a licensed professional investment advisor for investment advice, since I am not an investment advisor. Let's begin as usual by looking at the S&P 500. Just a quick look at the big picture, the monthly chart of the S&P 500, and what we can check here, what we can notice here is that we continue to have this nice bullish uptrend. I added the parabolic, these dots here, and of course, as long as price is above those white dots, parabolic, the trend is up, and there is no signal to reverse it. If prices go below the dots, then there's a signal to reverse the trend, or at least for some consolidation period. But if you notice, this trend has been very strong since 2009, and it has broken out of this trading range here because we were in a trading range, encapsulated by this high and this low. And since we broke out of this trading range, at 1600 or so, we've been moving pretty high. Right now, the S&P is closing at 2418. It closed at 2418. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, we can see that again, we have this nice bullish uptrend. The 4 EMA is still above the 9 exponential moving average, and that is above the 30 weighted moving average. Notice that we got this switch of the parabolic to below the price bars, and last week we talked about the 2400 level being resistance. Well, you can see that we broke above it on this bar last week. So last week we closed above it at 2418. Question becomes, do we continue to go higher? I say we do. I calculated a target of 2449 some time ago. I was looking at an old chart, and I don't recall whether it was a triangle or what, but that's a target that we had set some time ago. You can see that percent R, Williams percent R, is still above the 20% line here, and that's telling us momentum is pretty strong. The money flow, the Chaikin money flow indicator tells us that buying pressure is there, and that MACD is trending up from below the zero line. So the weekly chart still looks very bullish. Daily chart, likewise, pretty bullish. We had this spike down of the Williams percent R, and now it's trending up as the market continued to regain this loss that it had here on Wednesday 2 weeks ago. So now we're making new highs. The high is at 2418. We can see the money flow here increasing. We can see MACD is now above zero. So all in all, S&P looks pretty strong. We won't worry to look at the NASDAQ because it's pretty much in sync with the S&P. But let's take a look at some individual stocks as we did before. Again, let me caution that I'm going to look at stocks. Some of them I own. It doesn't mean you have to own them. I cannot be giving you advice to buy or sell anything because I don't know you. I don't know I might know some of you, but I don't know your financial situation, etc. And it won't be wise for me to try to give you advice about individual stocks. And I'm not a professional advisor anyway. So let's take a look at some individual stocks. First, I'd like to show you a couple of ETFs that I own. If you don't want to own an individual technology stock, you don't want to take the risk of, going into earnings seasons and getting bad earnings and the stock drops a lot. This is XLK. It's a SPDR ETF of the technology sector, and you can see that it's been up about, I think, 18 or 20% for the year. So this is a good one. This is a weekly chart. You can see how the Shaikin money flow has been increasing here. There's a bit of a question here about MACD. Should we be concerned about this? Maybe, but it appears that last week the histogram increased in value, and so perhaps we won't be subject to some pullback here. But we need to keep an eye on that. Let's take a look at something else. Well, XLI, which is the industrials, and you can see similar kind of pattern here on the weekly chart. MACD trending up, percent are above the 28% line. You can see the chart looks very nice. The international IXUS, international stocks. I want some exposure to international stocks, and we can see that this one is also looking pretty nice since January. You can see this nice uptrend, right? And percent are looking bullish there. MACD, same kind of a story. Let me just take a look at a few of them with you. XLY, which is the SPDR discretionary, consumer discretionary ETF. And a little different look here on MACD. MACD seems to be trending down a bit, but there's not really a divergence, because for true divergence, these histograms should be below zero. Okay, these bars here should be below zero. So it's showing a little weakness here, but I noticed that the parabolic is being hit. So it's probably likely to get below the next bar, which is bullish. And we can see that money flow is coming in. Buying pressure is here. So let's take a look at something else. Take a look at an ETF for the emerging markets. And we can see a similar kind of pattern because of this bull market we've been in. And so these are some of the ETFs that I own in one of my accounts. Let's take a look at FFTY, which is the ETF of the IBD 50 fund, the 50 growth stocks that IBD researches and lists. And we can see I like this chart quite a bit, thanks to Terry who recommended it. And I like this, very nice. We can see money flow increasing here, MACD trending up, nothing to not like here, parabolic below the most recent bar. So all these weekly charts are looking real good. Let's take a look at another one. Here's the Berkshire Hathaway B shares. I own a significant amount, bought too high, but I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing here because I pointed out this bullish divergence. Remember, lower lows, lower, even higher lows, right? And this is a bullish divergence. And what we're seeing here now is that on the daily chart, we have the 4 crossing above the 9 and the 9 crossing above the 30. So I'm expecting a nice move here. So we should be finding a bottom right here. If we look at the weekly, by the way, I identify what is called a fractal bar here. And so we need to break above 168.04 to get above this high of this bar, which is a fractal, because these two bars on either side made lower highs. So this bar here is called a fractal in chaos theory. And so we need to get this above 168.04. We're about $2.5 away from that. And if we break above that, then we have very little resistance above that. So let's look at the weekly. The weekly chart looks like, you could see that bottoming process here. And I'm encouraged. I hope I don't have to wait too long to recover some of the paper loss. Let's take a look at something else. Here's a weekly chart of NVIDIA. I like this stock a lot, although it has had such a great run. But what I like here is that we have this nice uptrend beginning here again, with the 4 above the 9, 9 above 30, parabolic in bullish territory, percent are above 20%. Look at MACD trending nicely above the zero line, and we can see that money flow is increasing here, buying power increasing, buying pressure. So I like this. I own some of it. Let's take a look at another one. And here's a weekly chart of Facebook, and what we see here is that yes, Facebook made a gapped up here, consolidated that gain, and had a nice bullish candle last week. So I'm encouraged by that. It's pretty close to hitting this parabolic if it hasn't done so yet. So we should find the parabolic below the current bars this coming week, or the current bar for this coming week. You can see the momentum is pretty strong. MACD above zero, and look at the buying power here. Okay, so money flow coming into this stock. I like Facebook a lot. I own Apple options. So after this run up here, we had a consolidation. Hopefully we will see some more upside. Parabolic is below the most recent bar. Momentum is strong on Williams percentile. Histogram is above zero. There isn't a really classic divergence because we didn't get below the zero line here, but MACD showed a little weakness here. Shiken money flow remaining strong. So Apple still looks very nice. I still have some calls on it. Let's take a look at another one. Another one that I own is Microsoft, and here is a weekly chart. We could see that we had a bullish engulfing candle here. This candle, body of this candle totally engulfs this body here, and so Microsoft is looking good. Momentum strong. MACD above the zero line. And Shiken money flow. Well, there's some buying pressure here last week. It recovered after this consolidation here. So I like Microsoft. How about NiSource? NiSource, that's that utility that we own for the first 6 months of the year. You can see how it trends up for the first 6 months. Looking to sell it somewhere around the end of June. I'll wait to see what the daily chart looks like, so we might as well look at it. Once the daily chart remains okay, I'll put off selling, but you can see MACD very strong, momentum very strong, buying power is pretty strong here, money flow. So NiSource, we're looking to sell it, somewhere at the end of the month or so, depending on what the chart looks like. But that's basically what we'll do. And here's another one that I own, is Visa, and it looks pretty good. MACD weakened a bit here, but no divergence. And Shiken money flow, you could see buying power or buying strength here. Okay, momentum pretty strong. So Visa still looks pretty good to me. Parabolic below the most recent bar. If we look at the daily chart, we can see that it actually closed above the upper Bollinger Band and came back a bit on Friday. But this looks pretty encouraging here. There's an uptrend here. 4 above 9, 9 above 30. Parabolic here. Nothing to not like here, Here's a weekly chart of Starbucks. Just bought some last week. I like the fact that it broke above the high here. This high is a fractal. We have two lower highs, two lower highs. This is a fractal. It broke above it. Okay, and so I like that. We should have more upside here. This is a weekly chart. The Williams percentile is showing me nice strength and momentum. MACD making really nice action here. And of course, Shiken money flow trending up. Nothing to not like here. Look at the daily chart. The daily chart became bullish here and continues to go up. It's now actually closing above the complete bar above the upper Bollinger Band, the blue line. So Starbucks looks very good to me here. I bought some. We have to close because we only have a 15-minute period here. So we'll do this again next week, but I hope this helps to help you to make some decisions about what you want to do. And we'll send you an email with the attachment as usual. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.